Good evening, everyone. My name is Emily Shoemaker, and today I will be speaking to you all about the controversy surrounding the Common Core state standards. The idea for this topic came from National Public Radio's series Intelligence Squared. Now, before I dive into the controversial nature of this topic, allow me to briefly explain exactly what Common Core is. The Common Core state standards are a set of national benchmarks in English language arts and mathematics that were released in 2010. These national benchmarks outline what topics students should have mastered at the end of each grade level. These benchmarks were designed to ensure that all children would be adequately prepared for college and would have the necessary skill sets in order to pursue a post-secondary education. These benchmarks were also designed to promote academic equality among students across the entire United States, rather than each state creating their own state-mandated benchmarks. As of 2012, 45 states, along with Washington, D.C., have adopted the Common Core standards. As with most controversial topics, there are two distinct sides to this argument. The first side of the argument is the people who are supportive of the Common Core standards and believe that they are beneficial. Some of the most cited reasoning behind support for this topic include improved international education ratings, uniformity amongst the states, and a rigorous course load that helps to prepare students for college. The second side of this argument is the people who strongly oppose the Common Core standards and believe that they aren't as beneficial as they are made out to be. This population of people often cite reasons such as a difficult transition for teachers and students, more value placed on standardized testing, and that the standards are really only focused on English language arts and mathematics and don't include topics such as history and science. I'm going to begin with the pro side of this argument, and there are two main topics that I will be talking about: uniformity against states and the higher education benefits. It is important to note that the Common Core standards replaced the No Child Left Behind Act of 2001. This act required each state to create its own educational standards and was popular up until the Common Core came out. Once the Common Core standards came out, all of the states who adopted them were given the same educational standards, and there was uniformity throughout the system. This uniformity proved successful, as the Common Core standards for both English language arts and mathematics were superior to the individual state standards in 33 states. In 39 states, the Common Core standard was superior to the mathematics standard. In 37 states, the Common Core standard was superior to the English language arts standard. Now, let's talk about higher education benefits. One of the main benefits of Common Core standards is that they introduce a rigorous course load, and this is important because one article cites that students experience education as a continuum, meaning that we are constantly learning in a cycle. What we learn from one year carries over to the next year. So the rigorous course load that Common Core introduces is important because it helps to prepare students for their post-secondary education. Also, Common Core has high academic expectations that yield more efficient learning, and in addition, these high academic expectations mean that we're more prepared for college and thus more likely to complete a degree. Now, the con side of the argument. The first issue that I'll be talking about are the implementation issues. Common Core only came out in 2010, meaning that it is between 8 and 9 years old right now, so it is an entirely new system, and with an entirely new system means that both teachers and students have to become acquainted with it. Also, because this is relatively new, there aren't really standards regarding which textbook and materials we need to use regarding this universal information. Also, Common Core places more high stakes on standardized testing. One article stated that assessments set ambitious targets and carry significant weight. The next issue that I'll be talking about is that Common Core topics are sometimes very challenging to understand. Common Core attempts to teach specific techniques before teaching basic skills. The skills taught in Common Core are often very complex. They teach something called fragmentation, which is breaking one concept down into several smaller pieces. For example, instead of doing a one-step subtraction problem, you can do a multi-step subtraction problem using addition and other various math processes. Common Core is also difficult because it fails to accommodate those with learning disabilities. because everyone is subject to the same regulations and expectations, and they're still expected to take the same standardized tests. Little leeway is given to those who have learning disabilities or aren't learning as quickly as their other peers, and this shows that there's a failure of flexibility for all students, regardless of if they have learning disabilities or not. Now, as I said in the previous slide, Common Core takes certain topics and breaks them down further. The pink boxes in this picture, which comes from Business Insider, represent the traditional way of working out math problems. The greenish-yellow boxes show the Common Core way of working out the problems. As you can see, the Common Core way of solving problems involves a lot more steps and can oftentimes get confusing. So in conclusion, the Common Core standards are a set of nationwide benchmarks that aim to give every child the best chance of preparing for college and learning at an advanced level and pace. Supporters of the Common Core see it for its uniformity and higher education benefits, while the opposition finds it difficult to implement and difficult to understand. There isn't necessarily a right or wrong side of this debate, but since Common Core standards have only been around for less than a decade, there isn't much research that shows yearly trends and its effect over a long period of time. 10 years from now, the debate on this topic might be wildly different. Thank you.